Istanbul is a world-famous city. We know it as a touristic attraction of great cultural wealth, a crossroads for commercial trades, a cultural melting pot, an intercontinental connection. Everybody knows Istanbul, but few people know about its northern districts. Yet in recent years, it has been put under the spotlight since the launch of new gigantic projects by the government, making it more visible to the inhabitants of the south of Istanbul. These international-scale projects trigger strong contradictory reactions. Some support them, arguing that it will bring development to the territory. Others see them as unnecessary, out of scale and dangerous. For example, one of them, the third bridge on the Bosphorus, is often seen as an unnecessary one, violently set up on the territory, supposedly designed to be the solution to Istanbul traffic problems, but actually meant to amplify the urban sprawl. Among these projects, we also have a new intercontinental highway, a new gigantic airport, and a new canal to compete with the Bosphorus. The fast and uncontrolled urban sprawl and the construction of the new highway have strongly impacted the northern forest. And it goes on, as each year 500,000 people move to Istanbul, and each year popped-up cities continue to appear. All of this will cause the quick transformation of the territory, raising numerous questions which we have to deal with. First, it's predicted by the authorities that the gigantic project will bring around 7 million of inhabitants to the area. What fraction of this number will come to the northern area, and where will they live? What will be the economy of the area, and what of the jobs? For now, the inhabitants of the area that are in favor of the project see it as a solution to the high unemployment rate. What will be the energetic resources for these new city districts? How will this area be connected to the rest of the country, and how will it interact with the rest of Turkey? Will the environment be protected, as the death of the forest also means the death of the city? Those territory issues are paramount, and their solution will depend on how the situation evolves from now on. But what will happen? To think about these possibilities, we thought of different scenarios.
Let's imagine, what if private investors go bankrupt? What if a local financial crisis arises? Istanbul, November the 20th. The mega projects are frozen. The construction has stopped in the middle of the works. Inhabitants blame the politics for the speculative bubble that led to the crisis. In June 2015, at the next legislative elections, the opposition takes over the parliament and impulses new territorial politics. The crazy projects are cancelled, and the urbanization is now directed towards the Marmara seashores. In the north, what will become of this wounded land? The third bridge and the highway construction are stopped. Of the projects, only remain the existing bridge columns and the notch digged into the forest. How can a former threat become a new asset for the territory? We can consider the notch as an available ground for the development of the area, which size is approximately 50 kilometers long and around 100 to 200 meters wide, where local initiatives are spaced to emerge. And local initiatives are important, because the development won't come from the exterior anymore, as it would have if the projects are the went on. Now it must come from inside the territory. Local projects and initiatives begin to tackle different issues. With the cessation of the works, many farmers who had left their lands to go and work on the construction sites have lost their jobs. What will become of them? As they represent an important labor force, around 2,000 men worked on the highway construction, a part of them can have a real impact on the local economic development. The area is indeed generally in need of new jobs that can be created by developing existing activities such as agriculture and fishing. Then, local economy can be encouraged by local markets. These activities find in a linear notch an ideal place to develop. Another issue is the housing one, as new inhabitants continue to come and live in the north. Less numerous than in the former government's predictions, but still here they come. supposing that around 100,000 people have to find a new home. Each of them needs an average of 15 square meters to live in good conditions. With this weight, families need approximately 1.5 square kilometers of inhabited space. To reduce this impact, adaptable houses with several floors are proposed to the families. They can choose to invest the entire shape or only half of it. In the future, the empty spot can welcome a new family or be used as an extension. The construction invests in notch already deforested and take advantage of this new topography. Even if the works are stopped, in order to avoid new disastrous projects, the ecosystem and the wildlife diversity must be protected. To prevent such destructions, the future urbanization has to be planned to make sure that the constructions do not go beyond the already deforested area. To make the most of local assets, the existing local initiatives can be amplified. Good use can be made of all the advantages provided by the site: the maritime currents, the solar energy, and the northern winds. All this natural energy can be used to provide electricity for transport, urban light, and private consumption. The notch, and naturally an open wound into the forest, can be healed by local interventions. Near the urban areas, the notch is urbanized, and local economic activities can also be developed. In more remote spaces surrounded by the forest, the space can be divided between leisure parks and fields. Green education is also a way to protect the forest in the long term. The Bosphorus is a place where energy can be produced, transport implemented, and leisure activities developed. This process of local implantations can be reproduced all along the notch. Little by little, the notch fills up with fields, vegetation, houses, gardens, public buildings, and parks to become an acting theme.
But the story could take another way. What if we think differently the project? The story begins with one day. The tracks of the IPA development are already visible. The landscape is moving, the territory is in construction. First blow of shovel, backhoe, bulldozer. Trees fall as truck move forward. The land is getting settled as workers are mobilized. Two new vertical lines, like two gigantic minarets, rise on the horizon. The site is becoming an attractive point for people. Who are there? A population of curious? Of enthusiasts? Local inhabitants or foreigners? Fishermen? Environmental defenders? A Stameliot family is photographed in front of this unusual scene, whereas traveler students are painting this spectacular view. For sure, we are coming to see more and more this intriguing project of Third Bridge. But where is it? So this is it, the Third Bridge project. It's almost like a blank page. A huge construction site which led us think about new alternatives to this monofunctional and hypermobility project, which is forgetting local issues. But what can be those new alternatives? What if the road wasn't a motorway but a railroad? Trains towards the biggest wholesale market of Istanbul will come pick up a few travelers hurrying to take their plane in the third new airport. Those travelers will be satisfied to take their last picture about the Bosphorus. The Bosphorus, which will be crossed every day to go to the university, and which will be used every day by inhabitants and workers. And what if the bridge piers were vertical connections? The goods will be furrowed to the water edge, and the curious will hurry to rise at the very top to admire the arrival of boats. A place of destination for some people, of departure for others. We pass there or we stay there. And what if the foot of the pile was a station, but also a port? Because we don't have to forget the strategic place of the Black Sea entrance between two continents. The bridge piers would mark the Bosphorus door, according to the same dialogue as the Bosphorus forts, or such as the existing village fishing ports facing each other. And if we follow this logic by adding a bounce, it will not just be a new point on the map, but rather the beginning of a centrality which will set in motion the territory, a sensitive territory between an endangered natural area and an overexploited littoral, on which it is a question of initiating new orientations. It will be an overlapping place between scales, people and activities, which positively works on its environment.
In 2015, the construction of the Yavuz Sultan Selim Bridge is finished, as well as the new highway and railway. A year later, all the local fishermen's boats are bought out by the municipality and destroyed, so that a great marina project could be finished in 2017. At the same time, a huge development project called Duvar City is constructed and it's finished in 2020. This housing project fully satisfies today's needs of common people buying a flat in Istanbul. It's completely safe, accessible by car, it's clean. Going to a shopping mall is so easy. In few years you can reach the new airport easily too. You can ride your car to a near forest to see the nature. In 2030, people are still living in the Duvar city but are not satisfied anymore. They want more. They want to work closer to their homes, not to be stuck 2 hours in traffic jam every morning. They want to use bicycles and walk because of big problems with parking their cars. They want to know their neighbors better because they are feeling anxious in so huge apartment blocks. They want to be closer to the nature. Last but not least, they don't like the appearance of their houses. They decide to change it. The members of the municipality, elected in 2025, agree with this idea. People are starting to get intramuros from their safe but a bit asocial edges of the cities. The abandoned space inside is rebuilt. New services are created and so the new jobs for people living there. The original construction of Duvar city is transformed into different functions easily thanks to its steel prefabricated structure. The boundaries of the cities are kept, but the parts of the structure are reused to build new housing projects, but also hammams, markets, mosques and other public buildings. On the shore, fishing facilities are established again, as well as small hydroelectric power stations. In 2040, these cities are completely sustainable.
There are more options for this territory, which can be solved by different approaches. The reflection must continue.